Aloha everybody, what is really good my dudes? Today is Monday, July 29, 2019. We got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today we see the release of the Summer Skill Off. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video, let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, the Summer Skill Off is a new event hosted in the Lumbridge crater. There are 6 skills nominated for the Summer Skill Off: Agility, Dungeoneering, Hunter, Runecrafting, Herb Lore, and Cooking. While you're busy training in your usual tasks around the world or participating in the skilling games in the crater, you'll be gathering these skill tokens which can be used at a skilling booth at the Skill Off event. You'll get some additional XP for handing in these tokens, but remember that these tokens count as your vote. So make sure you hand in the tokens to the skilling booth associated with your favorite skill among the listed ones I just talked about. The least popular skill during that day is going to be eliminated, but the remaining skills will get their base XP rates increased by 10% for every day they stay in the competition. The NPC Morn is your go-to for this area, and he will allow you to train at some of the eliminated booths if you so choose, with a couple of caveats. You won't be able to hand in any more tokens to this area for this skill, but while you are training, you'll still get that increased XP rates from before it was eliminated. To really take advantage of this event, it's recommended that you hand in your tokens as soon as possible to whatever given skill you do not want to see eliminated. There's also a 10% XP buff in the crater area itself, so train there specifically if you want more XP. Now you might be asking what you get from this. Obviously you get the XP from handing in tokens and the bonus XP you get from skills advancing in the competition, but there's also your standard mystery boxes with most events, and you'll unlock 2 of the following new cosmetics. We have the Snack Yak, which is a yak pet covered in a sorted amount of different food items, which looks pretty funny. And then we have the Blight Reaver 2-handed Sword Override. It's a pretty cool looking sword, you can see it on here. And those are your 2 cosmetics with the Summer Skill Off. Again, head over to the Lumbridge crater, start skilling in your favorite skills in the competition, that is Agility, Dungeoneering, Hunter, Runecrafting, Herb Lore, and Cooking. Moving on guys, we have the Weapon Diversity and Bank Improvements beta. Tomorrow they're going to be launching not 1 but 2 pieces of content in a single beta. You're probably already familiar with the Weapon Diversity beta from earlier this year, but this time around they're adding more weapon types to the mix, such as hostas, javelins, and staffs. Also, the Bank Placeholder and Improvements beta is coupled with this, although very different in presentation, I guess you could say. So if you are interested in participating in this beta, there's gonna be a post tomorrow that'll link you to the beta itself, so you can access, again, not only the Weapon Diversity, but the Bank Improvements as well, and give your feedback accordingly. Also, with today's update, they finally released the Majorot Aura, obtainable through normal gameplay. As stated in a previous announcement, players can purchase this with 1,000 Reaper points at the Death Store, or with 3 RuneScape bonds through the bond interface. That is it for your main game update. We're going to shift over to the patch notes and see exactly what's been changed there, so let's go ahead and check it out. Over on Anachronia, the materials required to tan dinosaur hide incorrectly stated 250 coins. This has been adjusted to the correct amount of 25 coins. Added missing blocking to rocks near the Corbicula Rex on Anachronia. Added blocking to land out of tiny vent notice boards. Blockings have been added around a mushroom on Anachronia that was presenting clipping. Anachronia Agility course has been added to the quick chat options. When on a Slayer task for dinosaurs, the final kill will now give the correct amount of loot. The Anachronia teleport spell can no longer be used on free-to-play worlds. Added some blocking on one of the agility obstacles on Anachronia. The extended super anti-fire is now affected by Lantidime incense sticks. Winter Storage Scroll will now work on the Herb Bag, unlocked in the Herby Werby reward store on Anachronia. Laceration Boots and Blast Diffusion Boots now better attached to your character's feet when in combat. Pavosaurus Rex animations has been cleaned up, and his tongue no longer clips with the throat when eating bait. A typo has been fixed when obtaining rare resources on Anachronia. More information for the player's lodge and storehouse building upgrades have been added to the base camp management interface on Anachronia. Updated the dialogue when asking Laniakea for tips on fighting elves. Laniakea, the new level 90 Slayer Master on Anachronia, will now reward the correct amount of co-op Slayer points when completing a task. Fixed the typo in Laniakea's dialogue when speaking about Carapac. covered some holes in the base camp floor. Moving on to some combat changes, the Staff of Darkness will now degrade correctly. Eldritch Crossbow is now included in the ranged skill guide. The ODAC coil will no longer heal you if you have a blood spell selected. An interface oddity with the main hand Stein when overriding weapons has been resolved. It's no longer possible to use the Heart Teleport tablets in an instance shard. Added a loot beam to Revenant drop enhancers. The augmented version of Karasi's sword now does the same damage with its special attack as the non-augmented version. The Zar Her found during and after the Birthright of Extinction quest will now count towards Zar Slayer tasks. The Wizard's Tower trapped Lesser Demon now has its missing death animation restored. Moving on to some skilling changes. Corrected smithing level type for the Belter of a Smelter achievements in the achievements interface. Reaching level 8 mining will now properly show that you've increased critical hit chance with copper and tin instead of just copper in the skill guide. If you have the Manafoss lodestone unlocked, the daily challenge for Luminous Memories will now take you to Manafoss if you accept the prompt to go to the nearest lodestone. Remove the line in the skill guide for Luminous Memories about needing desert heat protection since the colony is now inside the walls of Sophonem and the player is not affected by the heat effect inside the cities. Fixed an issue that prevented players from fletching when standing next to the Bloodwood tree in Darkmire. The Master Slayer cape perk, when attached to a max or comp cape, will now proc correctly when getting new tasks for Slayer Masters. Moving on to quests and mini-quests, an issue allowing players to access the tiers of Gothic's D&D without having completed the quest has been fixed. A grammatical issue during Sliske's endgame in regards to Saradomin's Examine text has been resolved. Change the color of the message that appears when you don't meet puzzle requirements to make it more readable. It's no longer possible to tie a rope to a shortcut tree near the Ritual of the Majorot site by exploiting a Children of Ma quest instance. The Fremnik Isles mine no longer refers to Runite ore. This has been updated to Dracolith. The Wanted quest now requires the Abyss mini quest, since Wanted requires you to talk to the monk of Zamorak after they've moved to Varrock. An issue preventing a cutscene from playing when the player has a familiar summon during the Dunul Evil quest has been fixed. An issue preventing the player from starting Hope Spear's Will whilst in goblin form has been fixed. Moving on to other patches. An issue related to the Basket of Oranges has been fixed. Fixed Silverhawk Boots level 1 being destroyed after destroying the Nimble outfit. Fixed Super Adrenaline Potion decanting using NPCs such as Bob Barker. Fixed inconsistency with KG capitalization for weights in Movario's basement. One of the mushroom clusters on the island that once were turtles was missing a farming icon. This has now been added. Grammatical issue with the examine text of the barricade in Nemi Forest has been resolved. Karamir Chathead no longer disappears after reviewing Tuska cutscene. The text exam is not showing for various items, such as the Tainted Shard has been fixed. Familiar free zone for the Mage Training Arena no longer extends outside the walls of the arena. You'll no longer see a message saying your Charos Clue carrier has taken out -1 of a clue when completing clue. Players should now find that they consistently unlock and are able to wear the comp capes and hoods after completing all required achievements. Teleporting to certain areas with the portable fairy ring will now correctly prevent you from doing so in various areas. Teleporting with a portable fairy ring will now correctly run side effects. Bone Crusher auto pickup toggle does now visibly change when selected. Umbral Auk Pet no longer references 2018 on its unlock hint. Switching familiar override to another override no longer causes major graphical stretching. Janikos in Herblore Habitat will no longer respawn attracted to a trap that's already occupied. When running and laying a box trap, players will no longer run past the trap and the animation will display as intended. Iron Man players can no longer pick up resources that are dropped from players using the Butterfingers Invention perk. And finally, a number of shiny animals that should have never been available for search on the GE have been tidied up. That is it for this video. Links to everything discussed in it will be down in the description below. If you want to head on over there to check it out, go on and do so. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.